Right.
I've been all in my bag, you been all in my business, you be all in your feelings, I've been all in them trenches, I've been all in my bag.
I love that theme tune. I love it. Hey guys, I'm Sai and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of our wrestling series, Keeping It Real. Today's show, of course, you can get it in video format, youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation, just like all our other shows. And you can get the audio versions at all the usual podcast platforms. And of course, we do shows on all sorts of subjects, featuring top guests, expert analysts, and more. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell for notifications. I'm going to fly through this because we're doing a quick show today. So I don't want to talk too much about this. I want to talk to the man himself. But we also opened up a merch store, and you can get some Keeping It Real merch there as well. So have a look at that. I'll post a link in the description. But with no further ado, as usual, joining me is the man with the plan, pro wrestling, post-wrestling writer and interviewer, the GOAT, the legend that is Mr. Andrew Thompson. And we can see that beautiful face as well. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
What's good, Si? How you feeling, my brother?
I'm real good, mate. I've it's been good. We haven't done a show for a couple of weeks, have we? And like last week, I did like a podcast almost every day. I was trying to, because I'm doing one of this series which I've been doing, which comes out on a Sunday. So I've been trying to get a few of them in the can. So I haven't got to like stress about getting them out for each week. So I've got a few of them in the bank now, so I can just do one a week and just edit them and stuff. So which is good. But you've been a busy boy, mate. I know. I see.
Yeah, got a couple things in the works, all good things, man. And then got some interviews coming out in the next couple of weeks, some new interviews, which I'm very happy about, of course. But always excited to do this podcast with you, to Keeping It Real. You just surprised me with the merch. I was like, merch. I ain't even know that. I'm on my residual.
Yeah.
What they call it?
Royalties.
Yeah, royalties. I'm on my
royalties, baby.
Royalties.
Yeah, I only put them up this morning. Just a couple of hoodies and a mug. I like the mug, actually. The mug is sweet.
The mug is must see. I mean, must purchase.
Indeed. Good prices as well. I put that, because I'm a nice guy, I put the prices down as low as they'll go, so I get the minimum amount of profit, because I'm just that sort of guy. So Teespring takes all the money, and then I get a couple of quid. But I think, mate, we'll start with what you just told me literally before we came on air, which is a certain Mr. Jericho, not always your favorite superstar, but AEW superstar Chris Jericho is going on WWE show, the Broken Skull Sessions, which is only available on the network, isn't it?
Yeah, Peacock.
Well, same difference, isn't it?
Yeah,
for me. So for me, it's just on the network, and it's not available anywhere else, like YouTube or anywhere like that, is it?
So it's Peacock is worldwide, right? That's just for the US.
I think it's just the US, because so I don't think you can even get Peacock in the UK. I don't know about elsewhere, but because my networks has always been the same all the way through. The only difference is now I think we get those tiers, don't you, where you can get all the independent wrestling and stuff. But were you surprised by that? Because when you told me that, I was like, wow, I cannot believe that. And I even joked and said I think Vince might pull it when he finds out. But obviously you told me the story that Stone Cold had sort of said that he texted Vince and asked him, and Vince was, yeah, no worries. And he had to text him to check just to make sure he hadn't misread the text. It is quite shocking though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big story. Like I'm not a fan of Chris Jericho, because of his out of the ring antics and making an ass out of himself. But I would be completely lie to say I'm not interested in this story. This is a big story for a current AEW talent, of the status of Chris Jericho to be appearing on WWE programming especially on a show like a Broken Skull Sessions with Stone Cold Steve. I think that's like one of their most popular shows. And Austin does like a really great job with these interviews. I think one of the more things, I know me and you talked about it, like one of the main things a lot of people probably want to hear about is if they mention AEW. It's kind of like it's kind of like at this point, like with having the talent, the caliber of Jericho's status, I feel like it's only like you just can't avoid the big elephant that is AEW in this WWE-esque setting. Like I feel like they'll get into the WCW days and of course talk about Jericho's WWE career, but it's like I'm trying to figure out like I feel like they'll do something like maybe like the last 10 minutes of the show they'll sort of like get around to AEW, but I don't think it'll be like a big focus point.
I think in fairness, like Jericho and Stone Cold, they're such intelligent guys. Like they I think that they know that they would be like they'd look a bit stupid if they just didn't mention AEW for the whole show. But what they will do is, and in their defense, all of these Broken Skull shows with whoever it is, they do focus on their WWE careers and WCW or ECW if they've been in those companies. They haven't really ventured outside of that sort of format. They kind of go through it. So, you could see, like you say, WCW, ECW, WWF, WWE, and then 10 minutes at the end, they might even get around it by talking about New Japan rather than mentioning an AEW by name. I'm sure they'll mention it. I think they'll mention it because I think they've got too much respect for their own reputations, let alone anything outside of that. But do you think that'll do? Like, I know we don't get the numbers, do we, for the WWE network shows? But I think it'll probably do big numbers because people will want to know if they just literally that small little snippet in it. Like Jericho will be quite an interesting show, but everyone will just want to know if they talk about AEW.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's plenty of people I know that aren't. Like I mentioned at the top, that really aren't fans of him that are going to tune in, and I'm definitely going to be one of those people because it's just interesting, bro, to see a current AEW talent, appearing on the WWE Network show, and then especially considering that Jericho has like hosted a number of interviews with ex WWE talents that have exited. They left the company and went on to do these like very telling interviews about their bad experiences in the company, and like it really shed a negative light on the WWE if they haven't already done that themselves in some cases. But it was just like it was just a big shock to see that pop up on the timeline. I thought it was a joke at first, but then I saw the WWE Network Twitter account promoted. It's gonna be interesting because that's airing like immediately after WrestleMania Night 2, so you're going from probably Edge to Roman versus Daniel Bryan, going directly to Chris Jericho, former AEW World Champion. So yeah, it's gonna be cool to see, bro. It's gonna be cool to see.
It's gonna be really enjoyable. We may as well stick with AEW, mate. So AEW's got this weird thing, like so Wednesday's AEW. I didn't think it was fantastic. I thought it was okay, but I watched every single minute of it from start to finish, and it's fun. So even when they have a show which is, for me, just okay, it still doesn't feel like a Raw. So when you have a bad Raw, it's bad. It's a struggle to get through. Like you're looking at the clock 10 minutes in and thinking, Jesus, 2 hours of this to go. Whereas AEW, I never really look at the clock, but I did think it was all right. I enjoyed funny enough, I enjoyed the Inner Circle return and their little brawl. I thought that was pretty good. I thought it looked quite nasty. I liked the whole thing of them being stood in the bathroom. I thought that was quite clever. Look, this may be controversial. I'm not always up to date on wrestling Twitter, as you know, but like I don't know how people feel about QT Marshall as a character. To me, he just doesn't interest me at all. I know he's a good worker, and I know he's had some good matches on Dark, but as a character to feature on their main Dynamite show, while guys like Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are on the YouTube shows, I find that a bit frustrating. I thought Christian Cage versus Frankie Kazarian was very good. I enjoyed the Young Bucks segment with Don Callis.
Mm.
The little interview they did backstage, I quite like that direction because it looks like Don Callis is specifically targeting Matt rather than just doing the promo to the both of them. He targeted Matt, Nick walked off and he targeted Matt specifically. And I wonder if that is something which might play into it later on or whatnot. But what did you think of AEW overall, mate? And some of the points I released.
I watched it last night. I did think it was a good show. I really did like the ending with Trent and Chris Statlander coming back. I think that was a nice way to,
It was fun.
That was a fun match. I wasn't expecting it to be that good, but that match was hella entertaining, and the returns are real good. Like I don't know how they have managed to get Trent's mother over. I don't know how. Yes. I don't know how that even happened, but like she's like a character on the show, like a sporadical character, and like it's not even often, but like every time you see her, it's just like, oh, it's Sue. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like his real mother, bro. Like that's crazy. But yeah, it's good to see Chris Statlander back. I know she tore her ACL, Trent had a torn pec, so yeah, always good to see them. I actually like the QT Marshall storyline. I feel like it's good, bro. Like I like
it's another storyline. I think the story's been told quite well. He as a character doesn't interest me. I will say, sorry to interrupt you, mate. I will say, I just cut you off completely. Sorry, mate.
Not good.
I did like the stable that they kind of formed with. I like all those guys which they picked for that stable. I thought were very good selections for his stable, and I do like the story with Cody. I just haven't been too interested in him as a baby. Maybe it's him as a baby face, and now that he's gone full heel with a stable, maybe it'll click a bit more for me. Sorry, mate. Go on, you carry on.
No, I like the QT Marshall storyline because they kind of been building it up for a long time. Like if you paid attention to like some of the signs that he's been doing on Dynamite, like how he's been acting towards people of the Nightmare Collective, like even with Lee Johnson at his first win, and he went on stage and thanked everybody in the Nightmare family, but kind of forgot about QT. QT kind of side-eyed him a little bit, and then I think he had another match on Dynamite. Lee Johnson, and then he was getting his ass whooped, and then QT Marshall was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like even after the match, QT Marshall just walked away and like let Lee Johnson get beat down. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like these little signs that started to build up, and like I even noticed somebody on social media, I think it was on Reddit, they had said that like whenever so somebody was on commentary, it was either Aaron Solo or Nick Camarado or Anthony Ogogo, like they would always like overpraise QT Marshall more so than any other member of the Nightmare family. So they kind of like gradually, built this up, and I think it was good. And I think Nick Camarado is gonna be like the big standout because dude, he looks like a fucking wild man. Like he's
that the dude with a beard.
Yeah,
do you think he looks like? Do you think he's not? He doesn't look like him necessarily, but do you think he's got like a Bruiser Brody feel? I really do. Like he's got that wild man sort of
a throwback.
Really enjoy it. What about Ogogo? What do you think of how that was the first time we've seen him do anything really certainly on Dynamite. Obviously big boxing star in the UK. Like how did you think they made him look like a threat during the sort of the beatdown, and obviously he punched Cody in the ribs and stuff? That was pretty good.
Yeah, just keep telling people he's a pro boxer. He's an Olympic boxer, and he could probably legitimately like knock your ass out if he wanted to. So I think he's already legit, like just off the strength that he could probably beat the hell out of anybody on that roster. So like he's already stabbed. I don't know how the wrestling part gonna work out, but I'm pretty sure he's been training at the Nightmare Factory, and over there in Norcross. So I mean, it's gonna be. I can't wait to see him debut. I want to see what he can do. It was kind of like I'm glad to see, like, kind of transition topics. I was kind of glad to see that Jade Cargill came in. She showed up when it was time to show up. Like I know you and I have been talking about that for a minute. Like she got the look, got the physique, got the height. Like she stands out above everybody else in the women's division. And the only thing left for her to do was just show if she can wrestle, and she showed it. She can go. So hopefully it's the same thing for Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah, for sure, mate. She's just a superstar. Do you think we might see her join that QT Marshall stable, or do you think it was just she wanted to target Velvet?
I think it's just because she's beefing with Reaal, and it was just like add on more stress to Velvet's situation and give her like a reason to come out the Jade again after already losing to her.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Laredo Kid, I always enjoy his work. He's so talented. So we had the Young Bucks come out with John Moxley to face off against Omega and Anderson Gallows after their match with the Lucha Brothers and stuff. The one thing I'd say about the Lucha Brothers is they've been building Penta up as a heel for like the past few weeks with your dude, I forgot his name, doing the translating. He did a couple of promos. Alex
Abrahantes.
That's it, yeah. And they've been building him up. He's been wearing a suit and he's been like a heel. And I've really liked that, like, sort of slight change in direction. And then they had them team up again and face the heels in this match. But it's still a good match. And I thought it was really enjoyable. I liked the Young Bucks coming out with John Moxley. For a second, I wondered whether they were going to ambush John Moxley just from off the back of the Don Callis thing. But it looks like they're building up to the Good Brothers match. Do you think there's any chance the Good Brothers win the AEW tag titles, or do you think it's more likely the Good Brothers win the Impact tag titles back off Finn Juice, and then at the next AEW pay-per-view they do a title versus title match and the Young Bucks win the Impact titles? What's more likely?
I'm not damn sure the Good Brothers ain't winning the AEW World Tag titles. That ain't happening. I can put the bank on that. That's not happening. But I can definitely see them winning the Impact Tag titles. I think that's gonna happen anyway. I think, you know, because Finn Juice, David Finlay and Juice Robinson, like, they're more so, you know, primarily based in Japan just because of the schedule, the New Japan schedule with the road tours and road 2 tours.
Yeah.
And with the big shows they got coming up. And I know Sakura Genesis is on Sunday. Yeah, Sakura Genesis is on Sunday. I was looking at the calendar on my computer, but yeah, Sakura Genesis is on Sunday. And yeah, man, I think that David Finlay and Juice Robinson are gonna drop the titles back to Gallows and Anderson at the Rebellion pay-per-view, and then, yeah, like you said, we probably gonna get the Young Bucks versus Good Brothers match at Double or Nothing, and then probably the Young Bucks get the win. I don't know if it. I mean, maybe they don't do it for the AEW. I mean, for the Impact tag titles, I don't think so. I think they probably just, you know, they don't want to overdo the double title thing, because I mean, I think that's a very prestigious thing, and I think you should maybe keep that within the confines of the World Championships. But you don't want to overdo it with, you know, adding the Impact titles, and then they're gonna be like, let's do a double thing for the mid card title or whatever. Like, even I don't even think Impact has a mid card title, but like, still, like, you don't want to, you know, you should want to keep that thing prestigious, like when you do a double title match. So just keep it within the confines of the world title. But yeah, I could definitely see Young Bucks versus the Good Brothers at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree completely. Do you think, is a question for you, do you think it's time for Miro to maybe step away from Kip Sabian and get that bit of a more serious sort of upper card main event sort of push, or do you think him being aligned with Kip is all right for the moment?
No, I mean, I think Miro's like perfectly fine for what he is. Like, honestly, bro, like, I've never, even when he was in WWE, I've never viewed him as like a world champion outside of that stint with outside of when he was on his Rusev Day run. Yeah. Like, I've never, like, outside of that, I've never like viewed him in that light. I always felt like he was like US Intercontinental TNT champion level. Like, I think that's where he fits. Like, I don't think everybody in professional wrestling needs to be that top name, because you need people in the company to balance it out. Like, just imagine if AEW had all top names in the company. Like, it wouldn't even, like, it would be the weird, because the people would get upset at a certain person losing. Like, why is this person? Like, you need people that kind of fill certain gaps on the card, and Miro is filling a really good gap right now with Kip Sabian, and it's good. They're a good team, bro, and they got the whole video game thing going on. Like, I mean, I'm not all the way interested in their stories most of the time, but like, I felt like they work really well together, and I think I think this whole thing that they've been doing with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy has been decent, and I think they capped it off like really, really well on the last Dynamite.
Yeah, it's been a decent mid-card story, hasn't it? I think my one thing with Miro is I think the reason why I think he should probably be a bit higher up the card and get a bit of a singles push in the AEW is he's not really like anything else they've got. They've addressed it a little bit more recently, but they have got a lot of guys who are kind of the same size and some of them look quite similar. They have addressed that more recently, but like I do like that he's very different. And also I feel like whenever he has been given a big push in the WWE or a good push, he's shown that he's exceptionally talented. He's shown that he's exceptionally capable of getting over with the fans as a heel and a babyface. Like, I do feel that he's proven that he can do it if he's given the right story or the opportunity. You know, it's one of those, isn't it, really? Have you watched NXT this week and the last couple of weeks? First and foremost, I'm so glad Walter's out there for Wrestlemania this season. I was so glad about that when he turned up the other week. But how do you feel NXT is doing? Obviously, they're moving to Tuesday nights. But how do you feel? Do you feel like they've picked up a little bit over the last month or so?
Yeah, I think they've done a good job, like leading up to TakeOver. It's kind of like I want to say it's that like 2018 NXT or 2017 NXT when it was just like one of the best hours of weekly television that WWE had. Like, it was probably the best hour of television that WWE had. But I think they really did a really good job of building up to this TakeOver event. Like, it's a lot of excitement I'm excited for it. I'm gonna be covering that, both nights live over there on Post Wrestling. So yeah, I'm excited to see the TakeOver, man. It's a good lineup, like a real good lineup. I'm glad. I like the way they formatted the card. Like night one on USA and Peacock is kind of like it's kind of like a show that you possibly could get on a NXT, and then night two kind of feels like the big shebang. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't know if that's like if I'm phrasing that right, but you got the NXT title match, you got the North America title match, and I'm really looking forward to see what they do with or night one with Io and Raquel. I think Raquel gonna take the title off Io, just how they've been building Raquel up. But maybe we see like, because the way they've been presenting Dakota Kai, it's like they kind of been putting her like as a like they've been putting her to the wayside a little bit. Like even when Io stepped to Raquel, she like just completely dismissed the Dakota as if she wasn't there, like standing in front of her. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they factor in Dakota Kai into this. I think for the tag title match, I think they need to put the titles on Grizzled Young Veterans. I feel like it's always money in the. I feel like it's always money in the babyface shit. I think MSK should win the titles eventually, like maybe 4 or 5 months later down the line, 3 months down the line. But I feel like it's always money in the babyface team chasing the belts, and especially considering that they never even got their shot at the titles. I feel like it just adds even more fuel to the fire of the overall feud if they, if they be like, hey, the only reason y'all won the titles because I got hurt, and preferring Wesley. So yeah, I think that the card is looking nice, man, and I'm excited for it. I really can't call it who they as far as Balor and the Cross. Like I can't call it. Like I think they gonna put the title on Cross, but I can see them keeping it on Finn. Like I genuinely can't call it.
I think my main thing with that, the reason I think they might not put the title on Cross is because I think he's probably the most likely NXT star, maybe outside of Io Shirai, to turn up on Raw or SmackDown after Mania. Like I believe that Vinnie Mac's going to have one look at Vinnie Mac's going to have one look at Karrion Kross and his entrance and everything about it.
I'm about to say, wait till he find out Scarlett can wrestle.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It's a weird one, but I don't know. Because the story really should be Karrion Kross regaining his title. Like, it should be that he was, he only lost it because he was injured. But I just think that he's going to be on Raw or SmackDown soon enough. What did you make of Raw last week? I thought it was dreadful. Apart from, as I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but The Fiend versus Randy Orton. It entertained me, and I know there's a lot of people who really enjoy it. I also know there's a lot of people who just hate it. I get it. It is what it is. It's something different. It's not supposed to be traditional wrestling. It's like a cross between cinematic and horror type characters. I really enjoy it. I think it's really great. I love all the callbacks to the, storylines and Husky Harris and all these different callbacks that they've had. But I do understand why people don't like it as well. It is kind of what it is. What do you think of the Fiend's new look as well, by the way? I haven't spoken to you since Fastlane.
Like I'm like completely like disinterested in anything. Like Monday night, I'm not even gonna. The only reason I watch it, bro, because I got a cover for the site. Like,
yeah,
but the shit is boring. I'm not interested in like much of anything they got going. Like they broke up the Hurt Business, and I was like,
oh mate, what on earth was that? So I can't really talk about something which I read earlier because it was behind a paywall, and I respect the people who reported it, so I'll wait for that to come out. But all I will say is that it's not just us who are unhappy with it, shall we say. But it was a Vinnie Mac decision, mate, as these things are.
Of course. I mean, I just think it was just completely pointless. But I mean, I kind of see like they want Drew McIntyre to be the babyface going into WrestleMania. They want, to have people root for him. I feel like there's much better ways than breaking up the faction that kind of been holding your programming down since last summer. Like, I think it was just like, kind of pointless and they didn't really need it. I feel like Bobby Lashley was on such a roll. Like, I feel like they was doing such a good job with him, like off the past 3 or 4 weeks that, he was WWE champion leading up to where we are now. And I'm just like, how the hell did you manage to have him presented in such light where he was like this really big deal to where now it's just like, I can like really see Drew McIntyre just like taking the title off this dude. Like, like right now, I don't even think Bobby is retaining, bro. Like, I like when I have that, like when I'm watching my wrestling, I like when I see these title matches and there's like that little bit of doubt in my mind, like even with Cross and Balor, like I can't call it. And that's why I'm so interested in it. Cause I can't really put my finger on who's going to win with McIntyre and Lashley, just with the way things have been going. I'm like, dude, Drew McIntyre's winning the title, bro. He's winning the title. Like it's like not even like with Edge, Roman, and Bryan. I'm interested because I can't call it. I don't know. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, I can't call it because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's good because you just don't know. But with McIntyre and Lashley, it's like, and predictable isn't always bad, but I feel like in this situation it is. And I understand they want to get Drew McIntyre's big moment, because he didn't have one last year. But I feel like you're kind of doing a bit of a disservice to Lashley for, you basically built this dude up to make him a big deal just to break him back down, which was like, like what was the point?
But my problem with it is, right, if you want to get Drew McIntyre over as the babyface, I would argue that there's more chance of the fans cheering Bobby Lashley now without the Hurt Business than there was with them. Because with them, he can be outnumbered. He's a big dude as well. He can be outnumbered. They can work as heels in the build-up, etc. Whereas now, people are pissed off because the Hurt Business everyone enjoyed it, even if they would have booed them because they're heels. Everyone enjoyed the work they're doing and that Bobby Lashley's done and that Cedric was finally getting something. And now they've broken them up. So I feel like all those guys have got more chance of being cheered, which kind of negates what they're trying to do from a heel babyface point of view. For me, anyway, it's it remains to be seen. You mentioned Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns. Jeremy Lambert of Fightful and a mutual friend of ours, he made a really good point on his podcast this week where he said Daniel Bryan and Edge are just being portrayed as like really like little bitches. And like, I know he said it a bit tongue in cheek and stuff, but I haven't really liked the way they've presented the both of them in the last week or two. Just, I don't know, a bit whingy for me. But equally, really looking forward to the match. Roman Reigns he's done the unthinkable and made me really enjoy his work for this past year. Never thought I'd say that a few years ago, but no, I just didn't enjoy his stuff at all. Like I just really didn't enjoy it, and now like he's one of my favorite things on WWE TV. It's a difficult. What they've done with the Bianca and Sasha build is painful to watch, but the match is going to be great. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, they've just dropped the ball with so many of these programs.
So it's the usual. Oh, can the two people facing at WrestleMania coexist?
Oh, God, it's so lazy.
Yeah, man.
And funny enough, I was watching something this week, another podcast. Can't remember what it was, and they said WWE is so lazy. But what they should do is there's so many male tropes and storylines from over the years of wrestling which have never been used with female wrestlers, that you could use those if you want to be lazy and you don't want to be creative. Like, use those templates instead of just redoing the same stuff, because like, yeah, I didn't enjoy haven't been enjoying it at all.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of got it clogged up with Reginald. I don't think he should have been as involved in that story as a few. I feel like Sasha and Bianca had two personalities that can carry a 7-week, 8-week story, and I don't think it's any difficult. Like, I think it was just, I think they kind of overcomplicated a little bit. I feel like sometimes WWE, like when they have a really good story between two big personalities, they kind of overcomplicate it because they don't believe that these two people can just simply carry the story just off the strength of their personalities. And I feel like Bianca and Sasha are two people that could have easily done, like, even with the stuff they're doing now, you could have easily built it off of like Sasha acknowledging Bianca being a superstar level talent, and then gradually over time, she starts to get on her a little bit about being a rookie, and that kind of Bianca kind of takes offense to that a little bit, and then they just start building up that tension until they eventually come to blows, and then I think that would have been just enough to get them to WrestleMania, but they decided to insert Reginald, and he didn't really I feel like he was good for it for like a week or two, but I feel like they kind of dragged it out a little bit, he didn't need to be as involved as he was. But at this point, it's just we already here. I think it's the only thing left to do for them to do is just go deliver the match that I think most people are expecting. I think they're gonna headline WrestleMania. I know Drew McIntyre said in a bunch of interviews that he wants to be the first one to go out, and we recently found out that there won't be, assumably there won't be a pre-show because the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and the SmackDown Tag Title match is going to be taking place on next week's SmackDown, which was taped. So yeah, I feel bad for the people that's going to be on the kind of on that show a little bit, because I'm pretty sure they want to go out there and be in front of the fans too. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of sad that Rey Mysterio won't be able to be on WrestleMania with his son, but
I feel like it's a bit ridiculous because there's 2 nights. They could have easily done the Battle Royal to open up night 2, or on a pre-show of night 2, or just done a pre-show on night 2. There's so many things they could have done. I think it's an absolute disgrace that Bayley has not got a singles match after her run as champion, to not have a singles match when they've got 2 nights of matches to fill. I think it's disgraceful. I know there's a women's tag team match or some sort of thing going on where they're going to do a contenders match on the first night and then the title match on the second night. What I would like to see is I would have Bayley and Charlotte team, but I wouldn't announce it beforehand. So I'd have Charlotte just turn up, and then I'd have them beat Shayna and Nia on night 2. But what do you think about that, first of all? And then I want to ask you one question then to finish us off, because I got to go.
Your ideas suck.
Yeah, come on. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
No, I'm just mad. It gives something to do. I think
history as well.
Yeah, just give them something to do. I feel like if I don't know how Bayley, like you said, I don't know how Bayley doesn't have a singles match. She damn near carried him. But one of the people that carried him through that pandemic era when it first started all the way to where we are now. So you would think that she would have something to do at WrestleMania, but her teaming with Charlotte and getting the tag team titles, that don't seem like a bad idea. I don't know where the hell they're gonna go from that. That seemed like a kind of like an off the whim decision where they don't have anything planned after that. But it'll make for a good moment, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So, last question, mate, to finish us off. In your opinion, who do you think they will pick to have the first entrance in front of the fans, and who do you think it should be?
So, who I think they're gonna pick?
Don't say it.
Terry
Don't say it.
Bollea.
Don't say it, brother.
Terry Bollea. I'm telling you.
I think
I'm telling you, bro. Like I don't even get like I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Like I'm like so far gone off Hulk Hogan, bro. Terry Bollea.
Mate, I don't even want to see him on the show.
I know for when I say that, I mean I don't even get like worked up about it no more, because like I'm just like so like you ever been like just like
just
like
over it.
You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of disgusted with a person or whatever. Like you just it don't even faze you anymore. Like it's just like that's how I kind of look at Hulk Hogan. Like he's like not even like there to me anymore. I'm happy as hell for Titus though. Like I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
like,
he deserves that.
Yeah, he deserves it. Like you wanna know what's funny? I was listening to an interview Bianca Belair did, and the dude asked her what she thought about Hogan and Titus hosting WrestleMania. All she did was praise Titus. It was hilarious. Like you could tell like she like just completely avoided Hogan. Like it was hilarious. Like I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Terry, good old Terry. Horrible ass Terry, racist ass Terry. But yeah, but I think it should be probably Drew McIntyre.
Drew. I wouldn't be surprised. Is it outside the stadium? So, and will it be dark when they start, or will it be daytime?
So daylight savings time. It's gonna be sunny outside. I should say that. It's gonna be sunny. It's gonna be sunny outside.
Because I was gonna say, if it was dark, I wouldn't be against the Fiend,
but not like
the first entrance.
But not like all super. Like it's gonna be like it's gonna be nice weather. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like stuff like reflecting in the camera and stuff. Even the time type stuff. It's gonna look nice. It should look nice outside.
Yeah. So see, I was gonna say, if it was dark, then I'd say go for the Fiend, because he's got such a phenomenal entrance with Alexa Bliss as well. That would be an amazing spectacle for the first reaction from fans and stuff. Everyone loves the song, etc. But if it's going to be light, you don't want it then. So I'd say, Drew. I mean, you could go with, who else is on night one? Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns is going to be night two. And this is the problem. They've nerfed all their baby faces. I mean, Kevin Owens maybe could be I'm looking forward to Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Is one of the few matches that I'm genuinely looking forward to, because they will kill themselves trying to put on a show, especially in front of fans. Drew seems like the kind of obvious choice, doesn't he? It is what it is, mate. I wish we had another sort of 20 minutes or so, but I've got a live show in a very short amount of time, so I've got to chip off. I appreciate you fitting me in though, mate, and hopefully we can sort something out next week, because next week I'm a lot more free with my time, so I'll try and work to your schedule and we'll get another slot in. And it's been great to have you on camera, mate, as well. Always love that. Follow Andrew at AD Thompson __, and of course subscribe youtube.com/Andrew Thompson interviews. I urge you all. The links to that is in the description below. His YouTube channel's in the description below. Subscribe to it, because he is a legend of a man. Subscribe to us as well. Click the bells for notification, and you'll see below there's a nice little link for some merchandise from Ace Podcast Nation if you really like to support us. And maybe one day I'll sort out a Patreon, which people keep telling me I should do. But what can I say? Andrew, my friend, it's been a pleasure. As always, take it easy, my friend. See you soon.
I've been all in my bag. You been all in my business. You be all in your feelings. I've been all in them trenches.